Tara. I'm your virtual voice teacher, and welcome to your virtual voice lesson. The first thing I want to say is I'm so sorry I missed our lesson yesterday. I woke up after a really long weekend of teaching and celebrating moms, and my voice was super tired. And in not teaching a lesson yesterday, I thought I taught one of the most important ones to date, which is the importance of knowing how to manage your voice. When you're a singer all the time. So no matter what's going on in your life, physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually, it is having an impact on your voice. And it's really important to know when to use my voice and how to use my voice, but it's also important to know when not to use it as well. So that's what yesterday was. It was a day to not use my voice and just sort of give it the self-care and hydration and rest that it needed so that I could show up for you guys today, actually, on this Tuesday. And I want to welcome, we have some new followers here on the Twitch channel, which I was so excited about when I logged in today. So I want to welcome Warinda Nock, Desi Alex, and Jessie Kitty. I think I know who Jessie Kitty is, actually, to the channel, Sing With Me. This is so awesome that you're here. Actually, I can't tell you how much it means. And as always, you can catch the live stream on Mondays at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, as next week we'll be back at our regular time. But if you don't catch it live, it'll be here on Twitch for up to 2 weeks. And you can also check out all of the videos on my YouTube channel, Miss Tara the Hummingbird. So please feel free to check it out anytime. Also, we're going to be doing a follow-up lesson to last week's lesson, which was the P5 jumps. It's this really active staccato, sort of beginner legato exercise that really engages breath support. And I'm super excited to hear back from people if you're doing them at home, if you feel like it's helping you, if you're noticing any improvement whatsoever. I notice a huge improvement in my own singing when I demonstrate this over and over again to teach my lessons with my students. So I'd love to hear back from you. Please feel free to DM me here or also on our Instagram page, which is singwithme_2020. Finally, at the end of this month on Memorial Music Monday, we are going to have a huge voice lesson where I review all 6 weeks of lessons leading up to this. So we'll be doing all of the exercises that we've worked on every single week for the last 6 weeks, which will be sort of like an actual voice lesson. It'll probably go longer than 30 minutes. It'll be a longer lesson than normal, but we'll go through all of them, reviewing everything that we've talked about the last month and a half, and I'd love to have you join me for that. So please feel free to keep tuning in to Sing With Me. I'm happy to have you here. To start, what we're going to do today is we're going to do a breathing exercise just to get on breath, okay? I think I've demonstrated this one before. I'm going to breathe in really slowly, just like if it was the stamina exercise. But then I'm going to breathe out on an S, okay? I'm going to pull my stomach muscles in as quickly as I can to really engage them and send the air out as consistently as consistently as I can for as long as I can, okay? And even when I think I'm done, I'm going to pull those stomach muscles in just a little bit more, just to get the little bit more flex of breath out, okay? Here we go. I felt that one in my lungs. That felt so good, actually, okay? We're going to do that again. This time I'm going to breathe out on an SH, so a shh, okay? And just a quick check-in physically. If you're joining me and you're standing, okay, I want to make sure that you stand with your feet shoulder width apart, a slight bend in your knees, your butt tucked underneath you, okay? You want to try to keep your torso as lifted as possible without tension. So if you feel your shoulders coming up when you inhale, or you feel a collapsing of your torso, try to roll everything out and down. And it's totally fine for your body to be having those reactions, especially if you're new to singing. It's completely natural, okay? And also, just a final reminder, you can do this with me, but I encourage you to do it at your own way and pace. You don't have to breathe in or exhale as long as I am, or maybe you can do it longer, okay? So this is about what your instrument is capable of in this moment on Tuesday, May 11th, okay? Let's try it again together. And again, even when I think I'm done, you probably maybe didn't hear the last little bit of that, but even when I think I'm done, I always have a little more in there. And that concept becomes more and more important the more advanced you become at singing, the more advanced your repertoire becomes. It gets harder, you know, so kind of that psychological reminder. I might not do that every single day where I need to get to the end of my breath at the end of a phrase, but every now and then it comes back and I remind myself that when I'm exhaling, I always know there's a little bit more in there. So it's just a really good psychological idea. And a lot of singing, I think, is psychology. Okay, now we're going to do a quick breathing exercise. This is just going to be sort of a mirror response exercise because we're going to be doing a lot of staccato and switching between staccato and legato today as a follow-up from our last week's exercise on the perfect fifth jump. Okay, so I thought we might do some mirroring of that in some early breath exercises today. We're going to do them on, let's do them on he's, okay? And we're going to be doing it in 4/4 time. 4/4 time means there's 4 beats in a measure, a quarter note gets a beat, okay? Obviously, we're not looking at music right now, but that sense of 4/4 in my breathing is just a really nice barometer. It's a nice gauge. It helps ground me when I'm doing something like this. So I have a sense of how long I'm actually working, how long I'm holding notes for, okay, in my breath, okay? And what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to pulse 2 measures of 4/4 time of staccato quarter notes. So it's going to go like this. Now, if you notice, my tongue is up really high in the back of my throat so that you can really hear that H, okay? I'm pulling the stomach muscles in and then releasing them, taking a little inhale for just the next staccato, okay? So join me on that. Let's do that together. Again, 2 measures, 4/4 time, 4 beats in each measure. Each staccato, each note is staccato, 1 staccato quarter note, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, ready, end. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a measure of staccato like we just did. So 4 staccato notes. Then I'm going to do a measure of half notes where I hold the staccato. It no longer becomes staccato. It's more legato now. So I'm holding notes for 2 beats. That'll sound like this. 1, 2, ready, end. Now, I still release in between both of those. Get a quick breath to hold it, okay, to send the air out. Will you join me? Let's do that together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 staccato quarter notes, 1 half note, okay, in my first measure. So basically 2 staccato beats, then a held beat for 2. Then I'm going to hold that second measure across 4 beats, okay? So 2 beats quarter, 2 beats of a half note held, and then 1 whole measure of holding, okay? And you know what? I think for this one, I'm going to switch to an S because I can really feel that held note more on an S, okay? So here we go. You can do it with me or watch me model it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I did it wrong already. Let's try that again. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that was fun. Let's do that again together. You ready? 1, 2, ready, end. So now I'm going to put the whole thing together, okay? I'm going to do 2 measures of staccato quarter notes. That was our first one, okay? Then I'm going to do 1 measure of staccato quarter notes and then 1 measure of 2 half notes. Then I'm doing 2 quarter notes, 1 half note, 1 held note. And then finally, I'm just going to hold a note for 8 beats, okay? And we'll do these all on S's now since we're going to be doing some holding, okay? So just follow along with me, do the best you can, all right? Just do the very best you can. 1, 2, 3, 4. How'd you do? That was super fun. I've never done that before. That was so much fun. And what's particularly fun about it, I think for me as the teacher and doing this with you guys, is trying to remember all the things I said, trying to remember putting the whole exercise together. That was really, really, really fun. So thank you for joining me with that. Okay, so here we go. P5, perfect fifth, means do to sol jump, okay? So first what we're going to do is we're just going to review that interval jump the way we did. And we're going to go back through the path we did last week, just as quick review before I give you some new combinations of this one, okay? So it's do, sol, sol, do. And feel free to join me. Do, sol, sol, do. Just do the best you can. It doesn't need to be perfect. Do, sol, sol, do. Do, sol, sol, do. One of the things I remember talking about last week is that the O can really help you, especially when you get higher, and so can the S on sol, just like we did with a bunch of exercises. S is a very aspirate consonant. It really gets my breath going. Do, sol, sol, do. 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 Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to just do that jump, do to sol to do, but we're going to do it on a staccato he, okay? Now watch me do it. I go he, okay? I set my mouth up for it, okay? And then I just hit the 3 different notes through there, okay? He, and I am breathing in between each one. He, he, he. 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 And I'm really using that H to pull my stomach muscles in, okay? I'm using the H. When we do staccato in real life, we don't put H's on them unless the word has an H on it. But I'm using the H right now as this sort of like the gas pedal on my breath support a little bit, just to get it going. So I'm not doing big huge like that, like big huge ones like we did maybe earlier when we were doing the breath exercises. I'm just actually pulling the stomach muscles in enough to create the H and then phonate on the vowel, on that vowel. Really get my sound going. He, he, he. He, he, he. He, he, he. And as a reminder, staccato means short and disconnected. And what short and disconnected looks like in breath support is I sing on that vowel, okay? So I'm pulling my stomach muscles in, but then I release it very quickly. So when I release the vowel, the stomach muscles kind of fall out, okay? And especially right now if I'm taking breath in between. Sometimes when we do staccato, it's just almost a constant pulling in and small release, but we don't inhale on that release when it's super, super fast if you're singing Mozart or something like that. But just for purposes of this exercise right now, you're breathing in between each one, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the beginning of the P5 jump exercise, which started with, we actually sort of started it just now, but what we're going to do is we're going to do a repeated do 3 times. So that's the bottom note. Then we jump to the perfect fifth, up, and then back down, okay? 1 time to the do. So it's he, okay? And it is a little bit more brisk. We are feeling this at a little bit swifter tempo. He. I'm keeping the notes on the bottom note for three times. I repeat those. Then I jump. Then I come down just once to the do. He. And every time that last do too is very short. Don't make that long. He. He, he, he. He, 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 he. He, 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 he. He. And I'm just looking at myself to make sure that I'm being honest. So I set the space up on that E, and then I just It's like I'm tapping through it almost on breath. He, 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 he. He, 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 he. He, 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 he. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to double it. Okay, so you're going to do a do, 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 sol, do, sol, do. So we're going to double the jump, okay? We don't double the do's on the bottom. We still just hit 3 of those. Then you jump once, come back down, jump once, and come back down. Hi, Jessie Kitty. Welcome to the show. Is this the Jessie Kitty I know at Hummingbird, or is this another Jessie Kitty? I'd be fortunate either way. It's good to see you. And I think I'm seeing you later, if you are, in fact, the Jessie Kitty from Hummingbird. Yes, it is Jessica. It's good to see you. I'm seeing you at 4 o'clock. This is great. You can do some exercises with me now. I'm so happy to see you on Twitch. Okay, here we go. That's so cool. My student just joined. Okay. So we're doing the staccato on the bottom, then we jump once and then jump twice. Here we go. He, 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 he. 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 Now a note about this, even though we're doing jumps right now, one of the things that I'm actually doing when I think about singing this is that I'm not thinking about going high or going low. I'm actually thinking about just singing in a straight line. Like this was, if it was notated on a page in a piece of sheet music, that's how I'd be singing. If it was on words, that's how I would be singing it. So he, 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 he. And as singers, that's really what we should be thinking at all times, that we're singing in a forward and straight line, not that we're going high or low, because what we're trying to learn to do is connect vocal line. That's really what we're trying to do, and connect melody. So even when I'm doing staccato, this can be a forward vocal line. He, 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 he. He, 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 he. He, 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 he. Last one. He, 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 he. So now that we've refreshed that, the next thing that we started working on last week was the slur, okay? So a slur is a connection from a low note to a high note. And it's sort of what I like to call like legato light or beginner legato, okay? It literally is just a stretching from one note to another, and then we release it really quickly. And I like this exercise for this because it's very active. Legato is very active. It's active the same way staccato is. But I think that sometimes we don't think it is because we pull the stomach muscles in, but then we don't release them as quickly. That's the difference. But if I can activate the stomach muscles on that inhalation, then it's just pulling in, pulling in until I release it again. So it really is the same thing as staccato. It's just a longer version of it. Okay. So what a slur sounds like is this. He. Okay. So I'm literally sliding from low to high. Okay. Then releasing its staccato up there and coming back down to a staccato do. He. 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 He, 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 he. So now be really honest with yourself about this. One of the things I notice when I go through this with my students is there's this tendency to want to lift the chin like he to try to move the note up that way. That won't help you at all. In fact, it will ultimately work against you too, because it's a collapsing of the neck. Granted, behind you, it's the collapsing here, but it doesn't keep the neck nice and long and relaxed. And that's what we're always seeking to do in our relaxation as the singer. Okay. So really, really feel that he, he. And if you have to go slower than I'm going, that's fine too. He. You can take this at your own way and pace, whatever works for you. He. He. In fact, if you're joining me in the replay, you can stop and pause it and do it and then come back. He. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add the 3 staccato to the bottom of that to add it to our exercise. So we're going to go he. Sorry, I did that wrong. Alrighty. He. Just like that. He. So now what we can do, now that we have this staccato jump and this slur jump, is we can kind of mix and match them. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do the triple staccato on the do, a staccato jump to the sol, then back down, then a slur up to the sol and back down. Okay? So it's going to sound like this. He. Watch my mouth. I set it up one time, and no matter what I'm doing, whether it's staccato or slurring, I'm staying connected on my breath the whole way through. He. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to make it a little bit harder. We're going to do the triple do, a staccato jump, back down, a slur. Then I'm going to add another staccato jump at the end. So I'm going to go he. Now, if you're joining me and you're doing this with me and you're starting to feel a little overwhelmed, that's fine. Do your best, but I will give you a hint. The people who get this right in my lessons are the people who are not worried about necessarily accomplishing the result. They're thinking about what their breath should be doing, okay? So when I'm doing triple staccato on the bottom, I'm pulling in and releasing, pulling in, releasing, pulling in, releasing. Then I jump staccato, I pull in and release. Then I come back down and I slur. So I pull in with the same action as staccato, but I keep it connected to that top note and then release it and come back down. And then there's one more staccato jump. So again, it's a pulling in and a releasing, pulling in and release, okay? So my advice on this exercise, and what makes this exercise successful for people, is to think about your breath. This exercise is all about focusing on breath support. And don't worry, the pattern will emerge if you're doing that, okay? Here we go. He. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the vowels a little bit. So you see, we can have all different amalgams of this exercise, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the vowel here. So I'm going to stay on the he on the bottom note, but when I go up to the top note, I'm actually going to extend to an oo, okay? Oo is the narrowest of vowels, but it's a really great one. E is very great too. E is narrow also, but it's sort of spread. But I do like E because it really magnetizes the voice, especially larger voices. It's so great. It's just like this great magnetic pull to the front of the face, okay? But ooh does the same thing and also has this extension beyond the face. I find that it helps singers really get into their resonant chambers in the bridge of their nose and the front of their face. You can get some real nice buzz on it. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to start on the bottom on E, but then every time I go up to that top note, that sol, I'm going to switch to an ooh, okay? So like this. It's going to go he, ooh, he, ooh, he, ooh, he. He, ooh, he, ooh, he, ooh, he. He, ooh, he, ooh, he, ooh, he. Now, if you're wondering, how does she do that? How does she move from E to ooh so easily? The hint is, the secret is that ooh is in my lips, okay? It's not inside my mouth. It's not involved with my tongue at all. It's in my lips, okay? So it's like I have the E sitting here kind of in my cheekbones, and then I just use my lips and I drag them forward as an extension of the cheekbones. That's really what I'm thinking. He, ooh, he, ooh, he, ooh, he. So my lips are very almost rubbery, and they're working on behalf of my singing voice. He, ooh, he, ooh, he, ooh, he. He, ooh, he, ooh, he, ooh, he. And what I love, I don't know if you can feel this if you're doing this with me, Jessie, Kitty, or anybody. What I love is that I can feel the E here and a lot of buzzing, and then when I go to that ooh, it moves, it sort of shoots right into the bridge of my nose, and I feel little vibrating in here, okay? Whenever I feel vibrating in my face, that is my voice telling me where it likes to hang out, okay? So that's what's going on. He, ooh, he, ooh, he, ooh, he. He, ooh, he, ooh, he, ooh, he. He, ooh, he, ooh, he, ooh, he. So now I'm going to add one final thing. So now what we're going to do is we're going to change the pattern. Let's change the pattern. So we're still going to do E to ooh, okay, because I really like it. But now what we're going to do is we're going to do triple staccato on the bottom do. We're going to jump up to the first sol with a slur. So we're going to slur first, then staccato jump, then slur again, then staccato jump again. So there'll be 4 jumps overall. A slur, a staccato, a slur, and a staccato. And just remember, it's just the pulsing on the do the first time through. Every time you come back down, it's just one time back down to do and then jumping back up, okay? So the way that sounds is like this. Sorry. He, ooh, he, ooh, he, ooh, he, ooh, he. 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 2 more. He, ooh, he, ooh, he, ooh, he, ooh, he. I think I changed the pattern, you guys. I'm so sorry. I got into the zone on that. So again, it's slur, staccato jump, slur, staccato jump. Sorry about that, guys. He, ooh, he, ooh, he, ooh, he, ooh, he. He, ooh, he, get into the zone so much with that exercise and stop paying attention. Anyway, so that is the sort of more advanced side of that exercise. You can do any of it or all of it or none of it. You can just stick with the do, sol, sols, do, whatever works for you. Remember, this is your voice lesson at your own way and pace. Since I can't be there to guide you directly, you get to guide yourself, okay, through all of these exercises, deciding what works best for you. And it's something that you can build up to too. I want to wish you love and high notes for a great Tuesday. I'll see everyone again next Monday for Music Monday. Thank you so much for joining me. Jessica, I'll see you later for a voice lesson, okay? Take care.